counting at 90, so we definitely have our quorum of 50. We definitely have our quorum of 50, and while we have our two board members that are here, Diane Williams and Diana Denito, walking right here. You still can't hear, okay. The two ladies walking right there are our board members, Diane Williams and Diana Denito. That's better, thank you. Thank you, thanks Charlie, thanks. Those are two of our board members. Welcome and thank you all for being here. These are two very active board members. And if you haven't met them, take some time to introduce yourself and get to know them. I hope everyone had a great Easter, Passover, or Ramadan. It's unusual that they all fall in such close proximity, but it's so fun and exciting to have this opportunity together with family and friends. And I have a question. How many of you all participated in an Easter egg hunt yesterday? Okay, good number, about 10 or 15 folks. How many people had over 25 eggs involved in your Easter egg hunt? Good. How about 50? How about 500? Chuck. And how many grandkids did you have?
7.
7 grandkids. And they were all worn out and they came wandering in and he said, "You're not finished? There's more out there." Slave driver everywhere he goes. Oh gosh. Okay, if we could just bow our heads and take a moment of remembrance. You have the list of the folks of our residents that we've lost this quarter. Thank you. And then the next item, you have a new resident move-ins. And I'm going to ask all the new resident move-ins that are here, and I know there are a few more that haven't moved in yet that are here. Would you all stand and let us welcome you? All right. Welcome. And you have that list of folks as well. And then the first item on my president's report is the art committee, and I'm going to ask Sue Gilliam and Bill Sluice to come up, please, and I'll give you. Okay, Chuck's going to give you his microphone.
Hello, I am Sue, and my co-chairman here is Bill. I work with the Residence Art Gallery just down the hall from here. I hope most of you know where that is. Anybody not know where it is? Great. We change the gallery every 4 months, and all resident artists are welcome to show their work, whether it be old or new. I could not do this work without my wonderful committee: Nancy Collins, Mary Lynn Woodall, Maria Cacciarelli, and Bill. Those other ladies here? Not here, okay. Well, recognize them anyway, please. While I have the mic, I would like to encourage residents to come and join the art classes that we have on Tuesday in apartment 324 and on Friday with a Zoom. We have great instructors and unlimited supplies of most media. Later this year, or maybe next year, we should have a real studio.
This year.
This year. And that will be on the 3rd floor of the Windsor. I will stay around after the meeting if anyone would like to ask me questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. I would like to say just a couple of other words. First of all, I think the art studio, the interim art studio, is perfectly real. It has a special place in my heart because it was the former apartment of my parents in the early 1990s. And it has a great view into the oak tree canopy. Mostly I wanted to say a word about the art book, which has just been published. How many of you are aware that we had an art book? A good many, yeah. 5 years ago, the art gallery was begun as a resident initiative. The art committee kind of got together as an ad hoc committee, unofficial committee, prepared a proposal for Chuck. He supported it enthusiastically and has the whole way, and the result is what you see now in the Commons. But after that, the Writers' Journal was started, I think largely at the initiative of Boyd Taylor, and that's been successful. Last year, I believe it started with Chuck. Chuck felt like we had a Writers' Journal and an art gallery, why not an art book? And so he tossed out the idea, and Boyd Taylor, Laurie Humphreys, and myself are the team that produced the book, and it was supported also by Westminster, and on the same model as the Writers' Journal, namely Westminster finances the first one, and then we're on our own. Sales of the book finance any further publications. So, in the back of the room, there's a table with lots of these books for sale. What are they? They are 37 color plates. They represent all of the artists in the fall show last fall that chose to have one of their art pieces reproduced for the book. There are 7 more that are from 7 of the same artists who won awards in the last year's Arts Inspire competition, which is a section of the gallery. So I hope you will support the book. I think you will enjoy it. I would suggest it make a wonderful gift. If they're for sale for $20, including tax. As you can imagine, producing a color book costs a little more than the Writers' Journal, so the price is a bit larger. Also, the profit margin is a little smaller, so we need to sell a bunch of books. So please consider it. Thank you.
Okay, and then I'd like to invite Bobby Collins and Phyllis Waddle with the Wine Tasting Committee co-chairs to come forward.
I think most of you have seen this flyer that Ruth did for us to advertise our wine tasting that's coming up on April the 26th, Wednesday, at from 4:30 to 6:30 in Harrisville Hall. And we are so fortunate here at Westminster to have a certified sommelier to conduct it for us, and that is Cara Cobb. And she has brought in wine from France, Italy, Argentina, and Spain. And she's so excited about it. I hope all of you will consider coming to it And the tickets are $50 each, and Phyllis is gonna talk about that. And if you can't attend the function, we would always accept a donation, and of course that goes to our resident association. So if anybody have any questions? April the 26th at 4:30 in Harrisville Hall. And we're going to be selling tickets back in the back of the room when this is over, if you're interested. Okay?
I realize that not many of us go around carrying cash or checks when we're here at Westminster. So what I am going to do, if you don't have the money to purchase it today, I can take an order and then we will deliver it to you and get your check and deliver we'll just do a little exchange there. So we will be in the back when the meeting's over and everyone's enjoying some refreshments. So if you have not already been approached by some of our committee to purchase a ticket, we'll be back there and we'll see if we can help you. They just went on sale less than a week ago and we're already doing quite well with our ticket sales, so don't wait too late. Thank you.
And I forgot, we have a wonderful committee.
Would the committee that's here please stand? Don't be shy, come on. Thank you.
Okay. Lori Humphreys, our secretary, would you come forward?
Before I do official business, I've been requested. Would all of the artists with their berets please stand and be recognized?
May I say something? I've been an artist for 88 years, and this is the first time I've been allowed to wear a beret.
And the second thing is, the books are for sale at the end of the meeting in the back of the room. And oh yes, and we're better than a Visa card. All you have to do is give us your room number. It'll show up on your bill. I guess my official reason for being here is to ask you to review the minutes and to seek your approval of the minutes of the December annual meeting. I think it was December 5th, am I right?
Yes.
Are there any changes? Thank God. I would move acceptance. Is there a second?
So moved.
Charlie?
Charlie McEwen.
Okay, thank you.
Recognized for a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
And then we'll call forth Sharon Verlander.
They wouldn't put me on the stage. Last time y'all couldn't hear me because I had to tiptoe to get to this thing. For the new residents, my name is Sharon Verlander. I'm the elected treasurer of the WRA. The last attachment you have on your handout is a copy of the balance sheet as of March 31st and the profit and loss statement. It balanced. Mary Bowles taught me well because she did teach me, trust me. Anybody have any questions about what you're seeing? If you don't want to ask me at this venue, I'm available. Look me up on your, call me. I'll come see you. My books are open. I
You wanna make
move
a
that the balance sheet and profit and loss for the first quarter of 2023
Yes.
be accepted.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Bobby Collins seconded. All in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Thank you.
They're accepted.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, and last but not least, our Executive Director, Chuck Borst, the Super Easter Bunny.
Hello, everybody. Always like to start off with a little humor. OMG, oh my God, they must have had pockets, big pockets in the old days. Remember that phone? We do not have Wi-Fi, talk to each other, pretend it's 1995. So, just to let you know, so we're working on the Windsor building. I've had a lot of questions about what's going on over there. So we reconfigured the old rehab space, the old therapy gym, into offices, and now the administrator and the director of nursing and all those folks moved upstairs to the second floor of the Windsor. And now we're working on the next phase, which is the green area at the top of the screen, and that's the remodel of the first floor, which used to be the memory care, and that'll be part of skilled nursing still, so it'll be part of the arbor, but it'll be converted to more rehabilitation space. And just to give you an idea, this is what the Windsor lobby will look like when it's finished. We have a reception desk that's not right when you enter the door, be pulled back into the administration offices a little bit. And then there's a new meeting space, boardroom space off that lobby. And then off my offices and human resources offices will be moving to the Windsor building at that north entrance. And then we get a new entry into that rehab space, which all of this should be done at the end of May. There's no wood. Well, knock on something. All right, you promise? Okay, I need it. This is the progress that's been made so far. So you can see that the lobby's coming along. They've hung some light fixtures already. The picture on the right-hand side, top corner, is that's the new reception desk. And then the admin offices are behind it, administration offices are behind it. And then the boardroom, or the lobby, is on the lower left-hand side. And then one of the resident rooms and how it's being prepared for painting is on the lower right. Sound system in Harrisbell Hall has been installed, and Bistro was installed as well. The installation of new AV equipment in Harrisbell Hall has been completed, as you mostly all know. The drop screens are not dropping. So they're supposed to be going through some programming issues with the company that manufactured them. The signage for the exterior of the campus has been completed except for one sign. Send me a picture if you know which sign it is. First person to send me a picture wins a prize. The interior signage project was rebid. I think I talked about that in my last chat. And they sharpened their pencil a little bit. We saved about $45,000. It was worth the wait, I guess. That signage project is currently in production up in Dallas, so they're producing the signs as we speak. And once they're produced, they'll come on site and start installing them. There's also a correction package that will be issued with these signs. And that's, you may have seen in the Carlisle, they have some mislabeled things that we're correcting during this process. The Windsor carpet replacement was to begin today on the 5th floor. Anybody seen them? Yeah, me neither. They should be here this week. They should be here this week, and they'll be starting on the 5th floor. And then as we complete each floor, we'll follow behind them with paint, protecting the new carpet. But the idea is that no building left behind, right? So we'll be doing all of that. Spectrum Wi-Fi is still being installed. They're still working on Windsor Level 2 because there's so many units on Level 2. That's our healthcare section in the Windsor building. Once the wiring is complete and then the switches installed, they'll start installing the WAPs. Most of the Preston apartments already have the wires installed in their apartments, and also the Windsor at this point. And then we'll start installing these wireless access points. They're about this big, and that'll provide the signal in your apartment. There's one of them similar to it on the back wall back there. The keyless entry system is supposed to be installed, the rest of it, the common doors that have been missed, are supposed to be installed this week or early next week, so that project will be finished up. The solar roof project has been completed on the Preston and the Windsor. We cannot connect the Preston because the electricity components are quite old and we need to redesign some connectivity for the solar program. But the Windsor is ready to go. They will be installing, they'll be doing a power shutdown for around 3 a.m. for the Windsor building tonight. And it'll be shut down for about an hour while they do the connectivity between the solar grid and the electricity. And then they'll bring the systems back online. You should not feel anything. The temperature of the building should stay fine for that period of time. And then they've started installing the solar grid on top of the Carlisle. And I'll show you a couple slides. I had some questions about what the solar project means. The remodel of the Preston ground floor amenities is almost complete. The gym has been completed, of course. The hidden treasures, I believe, is complete at this point. We put your cabinets in, the countertops as requested. So to give you an idea of what the solar project means to Westminster and our savings to the environment, it's basically we are reducing our carbon footprint by 510 metric tons of carbon dioxide in 1 year. 1.3 million miles of passenger car travel are the energy used for 92 family homes. That's what we're reducing with this solar project. So the total size of the project should produce about 499 kilowatts. The Preston 56.1, the Windsor has the emptiest roof, so it's 252 kilowatts, and then the Carlisle's 190 kilowatts. The cost of the project was supposed to be almost $1 million. We received investment tax credit from the federal government at $156,000 and an Austin Energy rebate once the project is finished of about $500,000. So the cost to Westminster will be about $317,000 after everything's said and done. And the estimated savings is $1.75 million over the life of the project. It's guaranteed or warranted for 25 years. So we finished the theater. The woodworking shop is finished. Don't go in there because you can't hurt yourself. We'll be offering training sessions for residents that are interested in doing that. The pottery studio is pending setup, but some of the equipment is waiting for installation because it hasn't arrived yet. It hasn't made it on the water yet. That means the ocean from China. So once we get that in, we'll install the equipment and we should be able to set that room up for use. The boiler project on the Windsor has been approved by the city and the work is to begin mid-May. The Preston boiler project supplies and equipment will be lifted to the roof over the next few weeks. We're also going to create a laydown area for them to work on the pipes and the boilers that'll be on the west side, those carports on the west side next to the Mopac wall. And we'll be using that for a laydown area for all of this equipment as we work to install it on the Preston building over the next probably 20 weeks. This is pictures of the theater, which looks like you're already using for meetings. I'm glad to see that. This is the woodworking shop. We can make cabinets and furniture and all kinds of stuff. We're sharing it with, of course, the associates. So they're working there as well. This is the hidden treasure store. And you can see the cabinet on the right-hand side that we just installed. The veterans wall has been reinstalled. We have some finishing touches coming soon, which includes a frame around the screens and also a nice centerpiece that Mr. Sheldon Wood helped us with. That'll be installed soon. The Windsor chiller is a piece of junk. That's why we have that big blue rental chiller out in front of the Windsor building on the north side. And that's why I moved the grand opening celebration for the Carlisle to June, to the end of June, so that we can get this monstrosity out of the way. Actually, you can see how the sun just kind of caught the glow of the chiller there. It looked beautiful in the sun. And so it's keeping the Windsor cool though, and worth it, right? So, we were gonna have to bring in a mobile chiller anyway while we did the installation of the new chillers in that building. We just had to bring in it about a month early. We do expect the chillers to arrive, the end of April is what we're being told. And they'll be installed in May, probably by the end of May. And we'll be replacing both the Windsor chillers, so you should have a really cool building that's easily controlled during summer and winter. And then we're also at the same time replacing the backup chiller on the Preston building, which is about 25 years old. Not that there's anything wrong with being 25 years old or more, but for a chiller, that's a long time. So the grand opening celebration for those folks that, city officials and those folks involved in the project, we pushed off to June 29th. We will have an open house event for residents on Friday, April the 28th at 1 p.m. in the Carlisle lobby with tours available to anybody that wants them, which is the day after your wine tasting, so you can all come stumble around in the Carlisle with me. Or you can sleep in and not worry about it, it's up to you. There's an associate event on May the 10th. It'll be a barbecue, and we'll be doing tours for the associates as well, because some of them haven't had a chance to see it except for riding up the elevator and then going to their workstation. So, and this is a commercial break for the art book. I think it's been mentioned a couple times already, but I would really appreciate your support as well of the art book. It's a really great project. I'm really proud of the entire team, the entire resident committee, so thank you for doing that. And I think it's, I hope it lives in perpetual, forever. I hope it continues to go on and on, as the journal has. 2023 has been a great year so far for us. We received some good news from several folks. Best Nursing Home Honor Roll again this year for U.S. News and World Report. We received J.D. Power for Senior Living for the 4th year. That's our life care services management company, the folks I work for. And also Best Independent Living and Assisted Living by U.S. News and World Report. We received our temporary certificate of occupancy with the Carlisle, which is quite the feat, but then got our permanent certificate of occupancy on 2/22/23. 5-star rated for our 15th year. Had 0 deficiencies on our infection control survey ×2, and the Carlisle was approved for licensure, which if you watch me much that week of Valentine's Day, my hair was on fire most of that week, but we got the building license, and so we were able to move the residents in February 20th through the 22nd in 3 days, and the staff did an incredible job getting everybody in and happy, and they're having a great time in the Carlisle today. Also received the Communitas Leadership Award, and I want to thank you all for your support in allowing me to do things outside of Westminster and to help make a difference in senior living throughout the state. And I think it's an accomplishment to create our first edition of the Westminster Art Book, the first of many. The Rowan, got some questions about that. It's opening tomorrow for dinner, starting at 4:30. This is what we call a soft open, which we like to do so that we don't disappoint you. We like to start off with restricting the seating to about 50, and we restrict the seating to residents only, so you're not allowed to bring guests in, because we don't want to embarrass ourselves in front of guests. Bad enough to embarrass yourself in front of the residents, but to do it on top of that with a guest is not great. Feel free to call and make a reservation. You are required to have reservations, and the Rowan reservation number is right here, 512-600-7331. And we should receive our liquor license this month. The city has told us that we should receive it on the 18th for the Rowan, so that'll be good news. It's that time of year again, And that's severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings are happening. In fact, I was up in Missouri where I'm from, and people in the next town over, I met in the hotel there because they lost their home to a tornado. About 5 people died in the town next to us, McAllen, Missouri, where my parents camped quite a bit. So we want to have a tornado drill on April the 11th, which is tomorrow, at 2 p.m. And we would like the residents to participate. If you'd rather nap, that's okay too. But the reason we're doing this is so that you'll know what to do in the event of a tornado warning for our community. Warnings will be announced over the emergency call system, so that's the system in your apartment, and the business phone paging system. Residents should move to an interior corridor space away from windows and doors and closing your apartment home door behind you. Shelter in that location until an all clear is announced over the systems. There is no need to press your pendant or pull a fire pull station during this type of emergency unless you're injured. Okay, so tomorrow, like we did in grade school, tornado drill, only there's no desk to hide under. You'll get out into the hall and try to centralize yourself in the corridors of the hall. Does everybody understand that? And the leadership team will be split up amongst the floors, and we'll check on you and we'll advise you to best locations on your floor and on your hall. Okay? All of Westminster's buildings are concrete construction. There's no place better in town to be during a tornado emergency than Westminster. So everybody knows what a warning is, you know what a watch is, but just we'll go over this tomorrow as we go around the community, hoping you all be safe. It should only take about 10-15 minutes. My next chat is Thursday, April the 20th, right here in Harrisville Hall at 2 p.m. And my special guest will be Cassie Catelli. She's our community administrator. We'll be talking about the Arbor Quality Assurance Program and our skilled nursing and rehab. And maybe some personal stuff about her, like how she got here and her little son AJ, some stuff like that. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chuck. At this time, is there anyone that wants to bring new business before the group? Yes, ma'am. You're very concerned about the magnolia tree in the Preston, Chuck? Does not look healthy.
We just had the arborist out to look at our trees, and he said it was in great shape. Right, Sarah?
He said it was the best magnolia tree this side of East.
The best magnolia tree in Austin. And it's the biggest magnolia tree in Austin, and it's in great shape. The oak tree is the one I'm worried about, and Sarah had a conversation with the arborist, and he believes that the tree is going to be able to be saved.
Wow.
And so that's good news for us, and they'll be working on that. You'll notice that the tree has some dead limbs in it, and the reason those haven't been cut out of it is because we don't want to shock the tree. Its growth is coming back, and when the arborist tells us it's the right time, then they'll trim the tree. But there's a tree care plan in place. We have an arborist contracted with us looking after all of our trees. Okay? Thank you.
Helen Covert didn't get to live long enough to see that, Sarah.
I know.
Helen was an advocate for that oak tree, and I couldn't see who that was that made that comment just now. What's your name?
Betty Skaggs.
Oh, it was Betty Skaggs. Couldn't see you from here, Betty. You're now the advocate for the magnolia tree. Thank you very much.
We won't let the magnolia tree die. Reminds me of my youth.
Okay.
Good tree.
Okay, well, we have transitioned into questions and answers, so are there other questions? Anyone has? Yes, ma'am.
When will the bathroom there at the Laurel be, what's your projected date of having that back?
When will the bathroom at the Laurel be repaired and ready?
Middle of next week. Middle of next
Middle of next week.
week. Okay? Yes,
I understand someone has a note about some really good entertainment coming to the Harrisville Hall,
coming up.
coming up, okay.
Yes, sir.
One question. When will we have 1890, channel 1890?
In the Carlisle.
In the Carlisle.
Yeah. I mean, the first priority, I understand, is getting the bar open, but.
We're working on them both simultaneously. We're negotiating with Spectrum to get them to come do that work.
Hope they do.
I hope so too.
1890 sounds, boy.
It's wonderful, it
Sounds
really is.
wonderful.
It's my favorite channel.
Yeah, mine too. Okay.
Okay, other questions? Yes.
Will there be new furniture in the Windsor?
Will there be new furniture in the Windsor?
Yes. Assuming it makes it here. Yes, it is supposed to be. Actually, most of it's already in a warehouse here in Austin. So it'll be here. We did have we're replacing healthcare center furniture, the room furniture as well. And some of it has not made it onto the water yet. So we're having to buy some temporary footboards and headboards for hospital beds and things like that. But we have a plan for everything, so.
Okay, question here and then here, yes.
We have a lot of good entertainment in Harrisville Hall, but the performers on the stage either perform in the dark or they perform with sort of a gymnasium type lighting. It would be really wonderful for the performers and us, the audience, if we had some kind of theatrical lightings too.
Agreed. So the lighting in Harrisville Hall, especially on the stage, is not what it's supposed to be, nor are these drop screens. I sent an email today to the installer to find out where we're at on that. But we have some work that's still pending with that.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
When will the art studio be ready for artists?
When will the art studio be ready for the
You gonna
artists
quote
and
me?
residents to use it?
So the art studio that's being created on the Windsor third floor is an in-house project. And we can't start it until we get the white construction project finished and it gets inspected. So that's the end of May. We should start the renovation process for the art studio around the beginning of June. It'll take us about 90 days to complete. So June, July, August, probably September, we'll have that finished.
Okay, yes, Sue?
Following that, does anybody, any resident have input into the?
Yeah, I was gonna reach out to the art committee when it's time. There's not a lot.
She wanted to know if any of the artists will have some input, and he's gonna reach out to them.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them, but, I mean, there's not a lot that can be done as far as the size of the space, but it's definitely how we put the space together and those things that are included in the space. We're not going to enclose that balcony right now, but we maybe could do that at a later time. But to do that, you would have to send a plan through the city, and it takes a year to get a plan like that approved. First, we would have to draw it and then start that process.
Okay, yes.
Chuck, I'd like to piggyback on the comment about lighting the people that are like you today.
Yeah,
who
I
are-
look better in the dark though, we've all
I was
decided
gonna
that.
say, you are really just a silhouette, but this is.
Beautiful.
This is to, in addition to that, I have heard many people who have low, visual contact.
Yes.
In other words, they don't see very well.
Yes.
That it is very difficult in this room because, for that reason, but also because
The
there's so
glare.
much light coming in.
That's right.
Could there be blinds on
Yes,
this too?
they've been ordered, I'm sorry, they haven't been installed yet. I think we're gonna have to physically threaten the people that we're supposed to install. Maybe we could all take a bus load down to their office. That seemed to work with the city council pretty well.
Okay.
We're working on it, we haven't forgot about that.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Here,
Yes.
I don't have a question, but I would like to offer a suggestion that when they're making announcement over the speaker system, some people have a very small voice and they need to project and say it loud, because if I'm in another room and barely hear, and I go in there and then it's over. So I called the other night to see what was the message, but so it would help if they would project and speak loudly so we could hear.
I'll tell them, I'll let them know that.
Everybody hear that?
So just making announcements clear over the emergency call system.
Do it twice.
Do it twice.
And do
Well,
it
they're
twice.
supposed to do it twice, and then if it's still going on, they repeat it in 10 minutes. Yes, I'm aware.
And they might also let us have an all clear when it's over.
They're supposed to do that as well, yeah.
Okay?
Chuck, it would be nice to have a protocol of some sort of a sound or something, because a lot of us, some of these announcements are in the middle of the night, and we have to go to the other room and the door's closed. And usually by the time we get there, the announcement's over or
Right.
ending. So if we could have some sort of a sound or whatever to alert us that an announcement's coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, he's saying that some
Like they did in
people
high
are,
school.
some of these things happen in the middle of the night, and people are asleep in their room with the door shut, have to go into the other room, and we need some kind of a louder sound that, you know, goes first. So Chuck's looking into that. Yes, ma'am?
What is the rationale for moving the evening events from 7:15 back to 7 o'clock?
Why did we move the evening events from 7:15 to 7 o'clock?
Why did we?
Yes.
Because we discussed it at the activities committee, and they said that with the dining hours, I mean, the situation being better, they wanted to move it back to 7.
Okay.
So that was the decision made at the committee.
So it was originally at 7, and then it got moved to
To
7:15 to
Because
accommodate.
people were, right, the compression dining.
Remember at 7:15, a number of us would think.
Who would like 7:15?
Oh, we can take a vote on that.
Let's, raise your hands if you prefer 7:15. Raise your hands if you prefer 7 o'clock. That's about 50-50. I personally like 7:15 because I don't like compression dining.
Okay.
And there will always be compression dining if you have it at 7 o'clock.
All right, so from May onwards, all programs at 7:15 in the evening. So-
You okay with that? 15 minutes? You can stay up till 8:15, 8:30, can't you? Most of you, unless you've had, you know, a lot of wine. You may. Well,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
There's also, if you go to dinner at 5:30, you're through in plenty of time to be there by 7.
You're right.
And then
I love you.
sometimes
Thank you.
if you're staying there, you decide, I'm not gonna wait for that, and you don't go. So that was one of the reasons also for making it at 7.
That's our activity chair.
The other thing, you know, and this is, you know, you don't have to, everybody go to eat at 6 o'clock, although I know a lot of you are used to doing that. Go a little early, finish a little early, and then go visit one of the wonderful spaces that there are all over the campus. You could go out front, sit under the Oaks canopy, you could go to the courtyard and sit and visit. You could go to the cocktail lounge at the Rowan, you could do just, there's lots of places to go visit, and then head up to the activity in Harrisville Hall. But one way or another, I think that it's gonna be a great evening, no matter what you do.
Okay? Any more questions? Yes, sir. You're a newbie and you're sitting in the back, and? He says he can't hear half of the questions being asked, and is there a way we could raise the volume? And we usually rotate a microphone around.
Yeah, we'll try to do that next time.
we'll get,
It's incredible.
yes, sir.
Are they still making progress with the hot water issues? I noticed it's getting better, but still slowly coming back. It's gonna take a little while.
Wayne Preston hot water issues.
Are we still making progress?
Right.
The answer is yes, we're making progress, but the true solution won't happen until all of the boilers in the Preston building are replaced. And that's the project that we're about to begin. And it'll take us about 5 months to complete the project. But once it's completed, you'll have a surplus of hot water. Shouldn't be an issue anymore. And that project is moving all of the boilers to the roof of the Preston and creating its own room. And it'll supply hot water in a central location to the entire building. So we won't have a boiler here and a boiler there. So when one boiler goes down, you have redundancy in place that can pick up the load. So that project is the one that I've been talking about to begin. Okay.
Okay, and I have had several requests, not only from Ruth, but also from Janice Shuffleman and the Arsons. The Arsons are Nashville transplants. That tonight we have a fantastic performance by Bobby Earl Smith, and it starts at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock in Harrisville Hall, in here. And so you're being encouraged to make that if you possibly can. He's a singer, songwriter, and guitarist. And, pardon?
Country Music Hall of Famer.
Country Music Hall of Famer. All right. Okay, well, we are adjourned. Go back and take a look at the tickets that are for sale and the art books that are for sale, and help yourself to a social hour. So thank you all for coming, and we will do this in July. Our second quarterly meeting will be in July. Thank you so much for being here.